All right, so people love free shit. There's no doubt of that. I mean, take a conference as an example. They're giving away those free notepads, free pens, and people are grabbing them like knowing that they're gonna throw them out anyway just because they're free. Just because they're free. Like, take a buffet as an example. Have you ever wondered why some people are literally willing to pay $20 to get a whole table of food for free just because it's free? Walking out of there thinking that they got a good deal. I mean, would they could have paid $5 to get the same food they bought? You know, there's this thing called the bias of zero cost, one of the 25 cognitive biases that shape our decisions every single day. Now, why I'm recording this video, not just to spread awareness, to awake those people who thinking rational to start to get them thinking rational. No, that's not my purpose. Those biases been around for years, for generations, and if they didn't have a time to learn them, that's their problem. You know, there are three types of people in this world: people who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and people who wonder what happens. You don't want to be in the third group. And in today's video, I want to show you how to monetize the third group of people who wonder. They wonder through life. So let's hop on a whiteboard and I'll show you how. All right. So welcome to the whiteboard. We've just talked about an example about the buffet. Some people are willing to pay $20 to get a whole table for free rather than paying $5 and get all the food they need, and they still think that this is a good deal, right? They walk out of there with this stomach ache or stomach pain, right? Thinking that they got a good deal, but they actually didn't. But why? The thing is, they fell into this trap. They fell into one of these 25 cognitive biases, right? So it's not just happens with buffet. Let's just say you go to conference, right? People go to conferences, they take this free pens, free notepads. You might take them, right? But you're gonna know you're gonna throw them away anyway because you don't need them. You take them just because they're free, right? So what's up with this word? Why are we often paying so much or we're paying nothing? So if you just take a look at the word free, it's not a discount, honestly. The word free. So the thing is, why we call this bias, right? Because it doesn't obey by the rules of logic, right? So if you just take a look at the linear reduction of a price, right, free does not make sense, really. So, and I'll show you why. I'll just transition to a whiteboard and I'll just show you one example that MIT did. It's a pretty well recognized school, right? So let's find brown because we will need this because we're going to be comparing two types of chocolate. The first one is truffle, not real truffle, types of chocolate, and chocolate, just a basic chocolate, right? So the price truffle, at the first stage of experiment, I should say, they priced truffle at a 15 cent. So they priced truffle at a 15 cent, and the basic chocolate they priced at a 1 cent. Now, guess what numbers were in terms of percentages, right? So 73% actually of people were choosing truffle to chocolate. And mathematically 27% chose chocolate. Now, this basic numbers, it's like line of preference, doesn't tell us anything, right? But it's the first stage of experiment, right? Just keep in mind. Now, and here's where the magic of our free happens. Now, they took a second experiment, right? And so they basically downgraded the cost by 1 cent, right? So they went from 15 cents to 14 cents. It's still truffle, right? It's still truffle. And they went from chocolate to, guess it, right? Free, right? Because 1 minus 1 is 0 and 15 minus 1 is 14. So they basically reduced the cost by 1 cent. And so logically, right, you would say, well, percentages should be like, it shouldn't like differentiate too hard, too dramatically, right? So like logically, right, well, 73%, 27%, well, who knows, right? But the point is, the truth is numbers, people lie, but numbers don't. 69% of people chose the free chocolate, the same chocolate, 69%. And as you might guess, 31% of those chose the truffle. Well, if you see the percentages, they're not logical, right? 73%. Basically, the drop was insane. The drop was what? 52%. 43%. 43% drop. There's something up with this word, isn't it? So, another example, my favorite one, was with Amazon, right? So Amazon, what they basically started offering free shipping for orders over a certain amount. So let's just say you were buying something for $16.35, right? Let's just say swimming mask, right? Swimming mask. And if you were buying a swimming mask for $16.35, you would pay on top of that $395 for shipping. So what Amazon did, they offered free shipping over orders over $31.90, right? You would get and be eligible for free shipping. So, when Amazon did this offer, they made this offer, they were pretty happy. They were really happy. People were buying extra books. They were basically buying something, whatever it is, even though they didn't want, not 100%, but they get that jump, that real jump in sales. But there's one country that Amazon noticed, France, it was France, that they did not see that much of an increase in sales. And that didn't mean that French people were broke or you were rational, right? Like free shipping, what the hell, right? The thing is that French division actually priced that free shipping for those free orders at a 1 franc. So 1 franc literally equals like 20 cents, right? 1 franc, 20 cents, right? What's the difference? Just 1 franc, right? Just 20 cents. Like, what's the difference? But the thing is, insane drop in sales. They did not. There was the worst country of that, let's just say, survey, right? Of that offer. And so, what Amazon did is basically allowed French people, still they basically did that free shipping for France. And guess what? French magically join the list of those happy countries that were buying over and over. So what is the deals here? Second example, free, just 20 cents, right? Just nothing, but still consciously we're still like biased towards like, well, we're gonna pay something, because what's the definition of nothing? Zero is definition of nothing. Free is definition of nothing. 1 cent is still something. 20 cents, 1 franc, it's still something. Free is a magic place. So let's go for the third example. I want to just show you everything about this word, all the info, all the links. I want to really believe you that free, it's not a discount. It's not just something you put on your website and like, oh yeah, I should. No, it's like, it's really powerful, and you gotta know how to use that. So AOL, American Online, what did they did? So they basically had a service, and I don't really remember how much they were charging, but they switched for that plan to $19.95. They started charging $19.95 for the services, for the online services, a month, right? And there were no like restrictions at all. Like, you can watch how long you want, right? Like it just doesn't matter. Just it's up to you. You're paying $95 a month and you do whatever you want with our service, right? So they switched to that plan where you basically get free access, free time watch, and so their audience dropped for 140k users to like 200. I even forgot the word. Forgot the number. 236,000 users over like a month. Users. It was so many users they did not even expect that their servers were crushing. So just want to keep that in mind. So it doesn't really only applies to services like e-commerce stores, right? We've seen chocolates, food. I mean, chocolate is a food, but like you pay for that. I mean, like food not in terms of money, in terms of calories. Let's just say a craft beer, right? Craft beer, the one that has 0 calories, right? So free calories, right? Free from calories. And the one that has, like, let's just say 16 calories. Sorry, calories. So craft beer number 1, craft beer number 2. You might say, well, what's the difference? It's not the cost, right? But when you, like, let's just say drinking a beer that is free calories, you almost feel like you're doing the right thing, right? So you might buy a fries with that, just because I'm eating free calories, like I'm doing a good thing. Well, maybe I just hop on some fries. Where if you're drinking beer that is 16 calories, well, it's okay, nothing special. So beers. How about credit cards? There was one credit card with an annual fee of 0, but the annual percent they were charging was like 15%. And the one that were taking $100 annual fee, right? And they were charging 9% interest. So you might think, well, logically you're gonna buy this one, right? Just because in the long run you like winning. But again, people are stupid. They're choosing the first option just because it's free, right? They don't have to pay any fees, even though 50%. They don't care, right? They don't think like rationality just drops when they see the word free. Absolutely drops. So if I haven't convinced you yet, here's a theory behind the word free. So again, it all comes from the book, and I'm just gonna show you this example just now. Imagine 4 people at a restaurant. 4 people at a restaurant, and they're all just sitting there enjoying their lunch, enjoying their time. And when bill comes in, they're gonna pay $100, right? So it's $100. Each of them, as you might guess, right? If we divide 100 by 4, they would pay each $25. Now, as you might already notice, that people hate paying for stuff. So there's a theory that the first dollar, actually, that's not a theory, actually there's a facts, that the first dollar is the most painful one. So people, the first dollar is the painful one. The second dollar, it's less painful, and the third one is the less. It doesn't matter, $1, 1 cent, as we've seen, right? 20 cents, 1 franc, whatever. So let's just say, just for the sake of this example, again, everything comes from the book. $25. Let's imagine this is like a 10 units of pain. We associate that with 10 points of pain. Now, altogether, there'll be 40 points of pain. So, theory says if one person pays the entire bill, since the pain of paying is not linear, right? So if we just, let's show you on the axis here. Let me pull this off. So let's say there's a pain, right? Pain. And there's a 10 units of it. and there's a $25. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as I said, right, the pain, right, the pain of paying is not linear. So if one person takes a bill, there will be first, of course, 10 points because he's gonna pay or she's gonna pay this $25, and then you see it doesn't drop, like it's not linear, like 10 points or even 9 or like 8, 9 or 7. No, it can drop like straight to 7, then like 5.4, and then like 2.1, right? So it goes like basically it just exponentially decreases. So what I mean by that, it's really, really, really painful for somebody to pay first, whatever it is, whatever the amount, right? And so now, right, if we calculate, let's just say 7, it's 5, and it's 2, that would be what? That would be 19, and then 24 points. 24 points versus 40. You see the difference, right? So 25 points of pain if one person pays versus 40 points of pain, right? That's just, the theory behind free. Now, let's see how this standard economic theory would apply to our setting. Let's come back to our chocolates, and so let's approach this part. Now, when a person can select one and only one of the chocolates, right? So that either truffle or chocolate, one needs to consider not the absolute value of chocolate, right? But its relative value, right? So, meaning what one gets and what one gives up, right? So, as a rational consumer, he needs to really enumerate the net benefit of two chocolates, meaning what he pays for the taste relative to the price, right? So like net benefit equals expected taste minus the cost, right? And so based on that number, literally number, then a consumer choose which chocolate has the larger benefit, right? So let's just say, consumer expects the. Okay, let's just measure this in a pleasure units. All right, so let's say truffle has a 50 pleasure units of expected taste. I'm talking like a taste, 50 units. It's pleasure, right? So pleasure, by pleasure we mean taste of actual truffle. Now, chocolate has, let's just say, 10 units of pleasure, right? 10 units, again, pleasure. So now, and then we're comparing 50 units of pleasure, so the taste, but what is displeasure? The price that we pay. Now, let's just don't go like too mathematical. 50 cents, we pay 50 cents for truffle, so let's just say 50 cents of displeasure. 50 units of displeasure, sorry. It's displeasure, just say dis. And here, 1 cent of displeasure, right? Again, 1 unit of displeasure, displeasure. So if we see, right, so 50 minus 15 would equal to 35, right? Right. So units, it's a benefit, right? It's a net benefit. Here it would be 9 units net benefit. Now, who wins? Hands down, the truffle. Standard economic theory, right? Now, let's imagine that but what happens when we reduce the price by the same amount? We understand, okay, so this is the winner, right? But what happens when we reduce the price by the same amount? Let's just say 1 cent, right? In our case, so there will be 1 cent. So now the units of pleasure, they remains the same. Units of displeasure would be 14. So in this second stage of our example, right, so be 36 units of pleasure still wins, right? And here the pleasure would be 10 units, displeasure will be 0, because again we reduce the cost. And so we're 1 cent, so here's a 14 cents. 14 minus 50 would be 36. In this case it's 0, so 10 minus 0 would be 10, right? So 10 units. And so logically that would win, but you know, as I said, the magic place of free, of the word free, it's not, free is not a discount, right? As I said, it's a magic place. And so from the standard economic theory, that would be logical to give the second win to truffle, but in this case we see this is 69% win. It's insane, right? It's 10 units, like they're relevant. So it tells us that there's something going on, and our results are basically screaming that there's something unique about the price of 0. So listen guys, why am I making this video? What I'm saying is, what point I'm trying to deliver is that don't go for highly discounted prices. You know, I see people in e-commerce, they're doing this like a highly, extremely high discounted prices, but if you're willing to lose money or break even, you might really consider the place of free. Because free, it's not like you might think, yes, by the standard economic theory, right? It's, you know, it's gonna be like linear reduction, but it's not. As you see, right, the numbers, they don't cap basically, right? So the next time you will go for the deeply discounted price, you should think twice, because the free is way more powerful. Not 2 times, as you see basically. Oh, okay, I might say this is 2 times, almost actually 3 times more powerful than just the highly discounted prices. So it was Daniel Litt, and if you really want to know more about this cognitive biases and, you know, all those kind of like e-com secrets that you can use with your online business, subscribe. You can even comment down below which bias you want me covered next, or what topic you want to cover next. Don't forget about the video that I've shot before about the relativity bias. It kind of ties in with this one, really powerful, so you might want to check it out. But other than that, was Daniel Litt, and you have a gorgeous day. Subscribe.